Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of how to use AI to create custom character sheet in Roll20. Today, I will dive straight into the content of the video, where we will pick up where we left off last time, and we will create in this sheet um, clickable buttons for the happiness, dislike, hurt. We will create a health bar that moves as we increase or decrease the health, and we will create tabs to toggle from by having AI help us along. Now, last time we left off here, we have our little standing data sheet, um, but it doesn't do much. You cannot use much of it yet for anything other than putting in some numbers. This is the code that we left off on last time, where, yeah, as you can see, they are just standing data numbers. And first, we are going to try and get these, um, yeah, happiness, dislike, and hurt scores to roll something. And that can be anything. If you have a certain system that you want to roll d20s with, if you have a system that you want to roll d10s or d12s with, you can use this the same way. Now, I've already gone ahead and put in the commands in ChatGPT to make this video a little bit shorter and quicker and get you guys to the essential information quicker without me doing all the actions. So I went into ChatGPT and I prompted it. I asked it, I want to turn the labels happiness, dislike, hurt into clickable buttons that also say happiness, dislike, and hurt. They can be boxed in red with white colors. And then I copied this part into ChatGPT and I said to it, when pressed, I want them to roll 1d20 plus the value that they have. So ChatGPT gave me this beautiful little prompt. Now, what you'll notice here is that it gave it all in one big block. And in Roll20 style is the CSS layer that is separate. So yeah, just something to watch out for sometimes. So if we were to copy this into our into our HTML section, we would only copy this part, and the style part we would yeah we would copy partially from here and put it in, and we already have a bit of styling, so we will put that just below it. Now you'll notice I copied also the style sections. So just to remove that, otherwise it's not actually put in there properly. So yeah, just make sure there everything is between only one style and not multiple. If you ask ChatGPT to write style for you, it will again give you the style brackets. Um, so now that this is saved, we can go back into our game and we can see what this looks like. Loading, we are here in the game and we can now see that these have changed into clickable buttons. If we go into our chat here and we click the buttons, they are now rolling. You could also ask ChatGPT to give it some flavor text after rolling to say, okay, I wanted to say this character rolled 1d20 plus 6. This does 6 damage or whatever you want. You can add flavor to it. Now it's just roll this and add that to it. So, yeah, that's step one of our tutorial accomplished. Now we are going to do something a little bit more tricky. You can also see in in the chat GPT that it It took me a couple of tries also to get it right, even though I've done it before. Um, what we've asked it, we've prompted ChatGPT that we want to create a help bar um, from this stat. So we copied again the this part from our HTML layout, and from there on, we we told it what it needs to do. It needs to have a numeric box with 0 to 50 that is manually adjustable. Besides the numeric box, we want a bar that will fill from 0 to 50. Besides the bar, we want two small button boxes, so clickable buttons that do -10 or +10. That should influence the number. And the numeric box change should also trigger the bar to change and make it all fit in one line. So then we got a bit of code. Now, the interesting bit of this is that ChatGPT recommended this, and then it actually already told me it did something wrong here, um, because it told me, would you like me to adapt it for Roll20 sheet sandbox syntax where JavaScript isn't allowed? Um, and yeah, I could tell from previous things that these are things that might work in the API, but not in the HTML. Um, so yeah, they don't work in the normal script. So it actually already suggested that himself. So I told it to make it work in a Roll20 sheet worker, and it came with a new suggestion, where once again I actually didn't pick this up before putting it in. I put it in my test, and then it didn't show the color moving. The buttons and everything did work. Um, and it asked again, "Do you want me to change the color when you change the health?" And that was the whole point of the health bar. So yeah, we said the health bar is not changing. It's not filling. We want it to be full green when full, a red background on empty, and when on 25, first half is green, or 20, 30, 2/5 is green, 3/5 is red, etc. Um, yeah. So then it came with the next solution, which was the final solution. So we will take this part for our health. As you can see, it stops here at style. So we will put that in here. Ta-da! And then we will grab the style part. And as you can see, it's styled for every single number of 1 to 50. So if you do have healths up to 100, it can sometimes be a little bit messy looking, but it will still work nonetheless. This style section you can fill up um, as far as you want. And then it's recommended below the script text worker for this. Text workers go below your normal code on the HTML tab. So you put them on the bottom. You also make sure that there's only one that says script, otherwise it will not work. Same as with the style brackets. So we will save it now, and see if our second um, thing that we wanted to accomplish has worked. We need to reload to see if it's functional now. And we see here a beautiful health bar that is changing from green to red, both when we press these buttons in increments as when we up it in little steps. So yeah, mission accomplished. One more thing to do. We want the tabs to work. Now this is pretty difficult. Um, I actually cheated a little bit by using some of my own knowledge, but I will still show you how to make it nonetheless. Um, but I couldn't get there so easily with ChatGPT, and I will show you um, how I tried to get as far as possible. So I asked for the final step, we want our sheet to have two tabs, main and extra, through a select list with options, and then each HTML section will have class distinctions where the CSS will change the layer we are on. So in this case, we saw yeah, a lot of suggestions from ChatGPT. We've uh, we've put this in, uh, and just bear in mind that you still have to do some work on this because it didn't upload the full content that you have in there. So in this case, you would put everything. If it says this is your main sheet area, then you would take your main sheet area, which is all of this at the moment, up to script, and you would put that uh, where it says main sheet area. And it also puts some extra health fill. No, we don't want to help bar, so just remove this part if it suggests something like that, and then yeah, you can continue. And again, it's got the style, the CSS layer in the same thing, and the script that it tells you to to add at the bottom. Um, so yeah, if we were just to take this, it probably wouldn't work. So we uh, we tried troubleshooting. We told it there's nothing showing now when we're opening a character sheet. We fear there may be an issue with diff or in the general code. We shared our whole code, everything that we had, both CSS and HTML. Because it's such a small sheet at the moment, we can. When it gets bigger, you have to take out certain snippets. And then we asked it to find the mistake. Um, and it gave us another option that also didn't work. Uh, and then I asked it to create, to solve it by maybe creating a hidden field with a tabs toggle, because I knew that was the solution from last time. But I will just show you uh, how to actually get it working and what you need to do, because ChatGPT didn't really end up being super helpful in that regard. So we will go into the code that we used, um, and what we made was little labels. So here we have the select. We have written select name and an attribute lowered slash tab where we have selected our two options in. So we have option value between brackets the name. You close the option here, and then you type in what you want what you want the option to be called, and then you close it with a dash option, and then you just add options and you close the select menu. For the field, you need a hidden field. So you have a yeah open bracket input, and then the type is hidden. Class, you can make this any name, that doesn't actually matter. It won't show up anywhere either, but it's just for reference here. We did called it tab state, and then the name is attribute lower score tab state, and the value is main. Make sure that you if you put something in a capital or in a non-capital letter, that you do that throughout your sheet. Um, yeah, because it will pick up on that. is case sensitive. Then when you start your main content, so your main tab, you put a div class main. Let's make sure that's the same value as that's here. And this is a div. So where the main ends at the end, you also make sure the divider is closed by a slash divide uh, part. So my main info is all in here. And then we made an extra tab content where we again put exactly the same. So you can just copy this hidden field on top of it. Then open bracket div class extra again. And then make sure to also close it. Um, and your whole sheet is obviously closed right there before beginning the script. Now in the script, you can ask also ChatGPT um, and ask it for a script for this, for changing the tabs, and when opening to set the tab to main. It will probably give you the same or a similar code that will work because you're zooming in on a specific issue or thing that it needs to do. But if you want to write it yourself, you can just copy it from what I've done here. Unchanged tab. So when the tab is changed, um, an event will set the attribute tab state to whatever the new value is. So if we change it from main to extra, it will change to extra. When we change it from extra to main, it will change to main. And here we say when the sheet is opened, we want to get the attribute tab state. If it's empty, we want to set it to main. So yeah, that's basically the script. Um, the way I just explained it, what these things do. You can also ask it to ChatGPT and then say write a code that does exactly that, and it will come up with probably the same thing. Now our CSS. For the CSS, we have these are just layout things, so they don't really do much. The so you could also just ask ChatGPT to design it however you want. The one thing that does do something is this part. We are hiding main and extra by default because it's already with the code we did previously opening main as when the sheet is opened. Um, and here we are using that hidden field, the tab state. So we do point tab state. Value is main between little speech thingies. And then we make an asterisk div point main comma and then point tab state. If you want to continue after this, don't put this little bracket in there yet. Just make another comma and continue with more options. But because we only have two options in this example, we are closing it here. Display block, close. Now you could also ask again ChatGPT to give you this code where it will help with the hidden fields. But in my case, it just took longer because it just wouldn't understand what I was trying to do. So that will help you make the tabs. If there are any questions about it or you're not can't figure it out, feel free to leave a question in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as I can and help you in what's going wrong with your sheet. I received a question on the last video. Do you need a pro license to do all this? And I wasn't aware you actually need a pro license to also create the custom sheet. But yeah, you do. Um, if you set it up and you're happy with it and you're thinking that you're going to be continuing to be happy with it, you can also just pay once set up the sheet, and then stop paying, it will still work. Now I've loaded the sheet, and we've accomplished our three goals. We have a moving help bar, and we have pages that we can go on through. Um, and yeah, these pages you can just fill. You can, for example, if we want, like I had in the first video, an items tab where you can add items, use items. Yeah, you could just ask the ChatGPT um, in. Let's see how this goes. This is on the fly, so it might not work properly. In my second extra tab, I want to create fields where I can add three weapons and press a use button that will roll a result. One knife, two gun, three magic wand. And then we will do 1d6, 1d8, 1d10. Roll. The roll will happen when pressing use. Let's see what we will get. But these are kind of like the how you start creating, and then how you can continue on fixing it if it doesn't work. In this case, I think I can already see that it's not actually going to create a sheet like how I had it, where you can add. It's just going to put them in and make them rollable buttons. But that's okay. We can just, uh, yeah, we can just have a little bit of info in there, just so you can see that it works. Oh, and this is also something you can do. And if you want to continue on this and have it the same way I had it, you can just keep asking questions like, "Oh, I want a button that adds a knife or a this or a that," um, and then let me go to my games. You can see, yeah, like I said, it's just going to create the fields with a button that will roll. But yeah, you could continue on this and yeah, keep getting something better and better for you to use. In such a short video, I'm yeah not gonna be able to show you exactly the end result, because yeah, it will probably take a couple of tries in ChatGPT to get the result that we want. But this is basically how we can get everything going. So in the next video, we will jump into the API features. I will show you how that works. You can do a lot more in there, and it's I noticed there's a lot less errors for ChatGPT in that, because it understands API coding a lot better than Roll20's limitations in the HTML sheets. So yeah, usually what you ask it um, will happen, or is easier to make it happen than with the HTML coding, I feel like, because HTML coding in Roll20 just has its limitations. So yeah, we will see you in the next video, which will be the last one, where we will go into the API and what the API can do. So if you want more of these kind of videos, and also yeah, we're also going to do some videos on how to set up a Kickstarter and all that. Just make sure to subscribe, and we are going to take you on the journey of of creating a tabletop business, of setting up sheets, of how to find groups to play with, and all that. So hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.